Awesome. So I wanted to get started with a little bit about our roadmap and what's coming up. So if you follow us on Twitter or X, if you go to Deepvue, the pin post, if you're curious about what's coming up next, what we're working on, etc., you could take a look at the pinned post that we have on the platform. And also, if you guys want to go ahead and take this tweet, I put the link in the chat to repost it on, or interact with it, etc., so that we can get more folks into the webinar today. So with that, we will get into the topic, which is how to manage your deep lists and how I manage them and how they benefit me. Some special use cases that we will go over, which you guys will really find useful. And then from there, we'll open up to questions as well. So if you have any questions, you can place them in the Q&A tab at the bottom of your Zoom. We will go through them as we get into this today. So to get started, one of the common questions and one of the things that's special about Watchlist and Deepvue is, let's say, I want to create a watch list and you're coming from another platform, etc., right? You're coming from TradingView, you're coming from Market Surge, and you want to port over your watch list into Deepvue so you don't have to use those other platforms. So let's just say I want to create a new one called import, watch list. We'll name it that. We give it a quick name. Now this portion of it will say, okay, your watch list is empty. Click the plus button to add new symbols. Now, a lot of the questions that we get with respect to how do I add a lot of symbols at once? How do I bulk add something? How do I upload a file like a CSV or an Excel sheet into Deepvue? So what we've done is when you click the plus add symbol, a pop-up will show up where you could add new symbols. Now, the way it works is there's no upload functions, there's no imports. All you need to do is copy the symbols from whichever platform that you're on. You could download the CSV, highlight the column, just copy it, Control C or Command C, or select all of them, right-click copy. And all you need to do is paste all of those in here, and we will automatically recognize them as well. So let's say if I go to universe list, let's just hypothetically say that I copy this from another platform. I'm in my import watch list that we just created. I click add symbol, and all I need to do is paste them in. So right click paste, right? And it will automatically detect all the symbols that I have in my clipboard as the ones that are now being imported into the platform. So there's really no upload, or you don't need to be uploading files, etc., to the platform. All you need to do is copy and paste them in, and we will automatically recognize those for you. And you go ahead and click add, and now you have it into the platform. So that's an easy way of copying things over into Deepvue from separate platforms that you guys will find useful. It's very easy to do, and it's very quick, where we auto recognize all the symbols that you're bringing over from external platforms or another list within Deepvue. The next thing I want to cover is a little bit about, let's just create a new one again. So we gave it a name. So let's just say new watch list 2. Now you have folder capabilities. So you can organize all your watch lists that you have in different folders. So I have a stage analysis watch list. I have a core watch list, and you can have different watch lists that, you can organize them into folders. So let's say if I want to create a new folder, I press this little plus button, and then I just call it new folder, demo, press create. That folder is now created. I'll get a success message up here, and I'll also get that folder is now created. When I go to the dropdown, it's also over here as created. I can add a description as well for this watch list. So this is my focus list, or something that will give you a description in the future as to why you created this list in the first place. So if we do that again, we get this new watch list that's created. It shows up in the tabs over here as well. And then it also shows up in the drop down as well. So if I go to this drop down, what you'll see is we created a new folder demo, and underneath that new folder demo, we have a new watch list. Now, let's say I want to rename this or change the name. So with any action in Deepvue, all you need to do is click the 3 dots, right? Go to edit, you give it a new name. So we could name it 3, press save changes. Now it's renamed as well. So that's a little bit about just the basics of how to create a list, how to rename it, how to create a folder, how to organize it, and where you will see the watch list themselves. Now, the other thing that I do want to cover in Watchlist is the 4 or 5 colors that we have, what we call target lists in Deepvue. So target lists are basically colors you associate with your watch list. So if I have with any account that you guys when you're signed up, you will get these colors that show up. So if I go to this drop down, you'll get a blue, a red, a purple, a teal, and an orange. And the way I use that in my trading, I make it very simple. So I've created 5 different watch lists, and these colors I associate with those particular watch lists as well. So anything that I want to place on my focus list, I give it this blue color. Anything that I want to place on my let's say my high volumes, these are all gappers or some characteristic that I'm tracking in the market, some setup that I'm tracking in the market. I give that a red color. I track all my IPOs that I want to keep tabs on, right? A purple, and then all my high type flags, a teal, and then all my ETFs get orange. Now, the beauty of this is this color management system, or these 5 lists that you have that you could assign colors to, is basically a way for you to manage symbols across Deepvue, no matter where you are. So let's say if I'm on the screener and I'm running, earnings next week, I want to see what earnings there are next week. And let's say the orange is how I'm maintaining, the earnings, my earnings watch list. Now I could add any of these symbols right away by clicking the logo. And let's say we add it to this blue one, which is my earnings, and I know it in the back of my head, or I have written it down that anything blue is my earnings watch list. So I can add any of these very, very quickly, or I can remove them, remove these colors quickly as well. So using target lists is what we call them, because they look like little target symbols or icons that you see right here. They're little targets. And these 5 different watch lists could be a way for you to manage how you trade in the markets. And the way I use them is, again, my focus list is blue. My high volume names, or my gappers or pegs, or whatever you guys want to call them, is red. My IPOs are purple. My HTFs are teal. And then my ETFs are orange. So that's target list, and how you can quickly maintain different things on, in the through this, well, by clicking this particular logo in any module there is. So if I'm in the dashboard and I want to add IWO to my ETF list, I could just click the logo right here, add it, and now it's added to my ETF list. I could do the same with QQQ, QQQE, and if I were to go back to deep list, right, and go to my orange colored list, which has my ETFs, I see QQQ, QQQE are now added here. So you guys get the idea of it, and now you can personalize it to any which way you want to be using that. I think it's a very powerful way to maintain 5. We've received requests in the past to add more colors. That's definitely something we're looking at as well, where users can create their own, or we give you the additional optionality of more colors so that you can have a color management scheme for all your symbols. Nick, any questions on target lists that you see?
No, I use one of the colors for positions, so whenever I'm scanning, I can see when my positions pop up in different spots. We do have 2 questions. Are there any plans to integrate execution with IBKR? Is that a 2025 plan?
It's a 2024 plan. We will integrate with IBKR later this year. It will align with our journaling module, which will be late Q3, mid Q4 this year.
And then
I trade futures a bit,
yep.
quite a bit, include futures, even at added cost. We will have CFD based futures. So you can see S&P, you can see global indexes in a real-time manner. And there will be no additional costs associated with those. So it will just be a feed we'll integrate. For CBOE futures market, and those are very costly. If we do plan to add them in the future, they will be at an added cost or an add-on, just like other platforms. It's mostly because CBOE charges quite a bit of fees associated with it. Yes, we will start with Thinkorswim. IBKR, some of the most popular ones when we integrate the journal, etc. Yes, Schwab as well. As long as they have APIs, we will connect to them. Yes, we need real-time features. It will be CFD. So something like you see on investing.com as well. So let's get back into Watchlist, which is the topic of today. The next thing I want to cover is the universe list, and I'll showcase how I use it today and how it's useful for me. So the universe list is basically built and it combines all your deep lists together into one list. And what basically the way I use it today is when the market opens, I'm focused on my focus list. I'm concentrated on the couple of names that I'm watching, and I want to get really good entry areas on these particular names. But then when the market is ready, let's go to deep list. So the universe list, the way I use it is basically it's an aggregate of all my watch list into one. So the first hour of the market, I'm usually focused on single names, etc. on my focus list, and I'll go back to my universe. And then throughout the day, I'm basically flipping through my universe to gauge if the market is doing well, how's the market doing, how are stocks acting, how are oversold stocks acting, how is the leadership stocks I have. They're all combined. All my lists that I have here are all combined into a unique symbol list, which is the universe list. And I continuously sort by DCR, sort by percent change, and try to see what's working, what isn't, how's the breadth in the market, and that's how you use the universe list. It's a very, very good way for you to not go to individual lists themselves, flip through, then flip to another one, etc. The universe list kind of does that for you by bringing everything together in one place, and you can have really dedicated columns, especially for DCR or weekly closing range, which will give you a good idea of where the market's headed or how the market is doing. The next thing is we covered target flags, we covered regular watch lists, and the universe list. The next thing is everything is available in the dashboard format as well. So the dashboard module has what we call apps. When you click this particular plus button, you could see that you could pull in any number of screeners that you want, any number of deep lists or watch lists that you want, and you can have multiple watch lists on the same view. And that is something I use during the day. Usually for my weekend screening, I'm using the deep list module itself. For my when the market's open, I'm on my dashboard. I have all my deep lists on this one particular dashboard, and I continuously sort each of them in a different manner to see what they're doing. But I also have my universe that I can continuously go through and scan for to see market breadth, where the money's rotating to, etc. So that we often get a question, can you have multiple watch lists on the same page? That's why we built the dashboard module. When you click this first symbol on the left-hand menu, you can pull in multiple lists, and there's really no limit to it. You can have many, many, many lists stacked up. They all will update real time. You can have different sortings, etc., and manage them accordingly right through the dashboard. The other thing that I do want to cover today is a lot of questions that I get. How do I get this view of all the 4 stages and the number of stages there are at the moment? So I do want to go over the different stages and how I get them at the very top here. You still hear me, Nick?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, awesome. And how I get these, because I get a lot of questions on, how do you do this in Deepvue when I post it on social media, etc. So the way you do that is you go to Screener right here. You would go to My Screens dropdown and you go to Screener Presets. Once you go to Screener Presets, Nick, are you stuck, or I'm a little hesitant if I'm going through?
No, I'm just smiling because I feel like you're gonna drop off again. But go ahead.
Okay. So we'll cover over how we get those. You go to the Screener module, you go to the My Screens dropdown, you go to Screener Presets, and you can search for what I search for is stage analysis. And now you have these presets that we have set up, right? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Now, how do you get these to show up on the deep list module in kind of like a tab view? So you could always have this, number of stocks in stage 2 is greater than number of stocks in stage 4, or number of stocks in stage 4 is greater than stage 2, etc. Right? So what you want to do is you will click the star right next to it. Right next to it, you would click the star. And what this will do is it will convert these particular screeners into watch lists that you have. So you don't have to come back to the screener preset module, run each of them, see the count. You could convert these into into a watch list. And now when we go back to the deep list module, you'll see that I have the counts available up here, right? So stage 1, there's 161 stocks. Stage 2, 1936. Stage 3, there's 686 stocks. And stage 4, there's 1960. Now, how do I rename these the way that I did to simplify that so they don't look like this? That's the next question that we'll answer. So what I tend to do is I will go to screener presets. I would go type in, just Stage or Stan Weinstein, etc. And then you could duplicate these for yourself. And when you duplicate them, you could just rename them to stage 1. And that's what I've done, really. And that's how I accomplish it. So if I were to put these stage 1 stocks or whatever you want to call that, and you could have them in your own folder, which I call stage analysis, and save them. And we'll not do that again, but we'll go to save screens. I'll go to stage analysis, and I have all of these screens set up. And you can see I have the stars selected. And when I select these, they get converted into watch list. Now I have a real-time count of stage 1, 2, 3, 4 stocks that are available in the market. That's the way that exists right now. Obviously, it's kind of a long way around it. We will add this capability into the dashboard very soon. When we have the data panel coming, you'll be able to add number of stages, and you'll just see it in one view on your dashboard itself. But this is kind of a workaround that exists right now while we develop and get the data panel into the dashboard as well. So that's really all I had written down in terms of how I use deep lists and how I manage stocks in Deepvue in terms of the different target lists, how I use my universe list, how I create things, how I organize them, and how I convert screens that I have here into deep lists. Now, one thing I do want to cover is people in terms of your personal process when it comes to your own trading, whether you're a position trader, swing trader, etc. There's no limitation on the number of lists that you can create, watch lists that you can create in Deepvue. All plans have unlimited ones. You can create model book watch lists that you go back and study once in a while. You could create things like, earnings watch list that you poured over symbols. So there's no limitation as to the number of ones that you could have. But it's also important that the watch lists that are related to your trading are very focused and narrow. You don't want to have 40 different watch lists that you want to go through, or 10 even. Try to narrow that scope so that it's, I have 5 of them that I use and I stick to these. If you use 6, that's absolutely fine, but just don't get carried away where you have so many watches that it leaves you dazed and confused in terms of your process and everyday trading and decision making in the markets as well. So I think it's a good time to take questions. Nick, if you have anything to add, we could do that.
Let's jump into questions. Mike's asking, are screens that you make watch lists included in the universe?
Are screens that you make watch lists are included in the universe? No, not at the moment, no. We will introduce combo lists, which will combine screeners and deep lists. And so you can create a combo list that includes both screening and watch list capability in one. That is coming probably next month, including sections as well. So you could create sections in your watch list as well. And that's something that's already in the pipeline.
Peter's asking, how can a list be pulled into the dashboard? Do you want to just go ahead and show how you drag it over?
Yes. Well, let's create a new one. We'll call this deep list demo. Create that. All you do is you click add apps here, or this plus button. So if I click this plus button, the pop-up on the right side will show, and you could just drag and drop. You could resize them to any size that you want. And then you could select different ones from the drop down. So if I want my universe to be this one, I'll drag another one, resize it to what I want. And let's say this one can be my focus list, deep list right here. So you can have unlimited number of them, right? They will all update real time with the columns that we have, but you get the point, right? People get very creative with their layouts. We'll have deep list dashboard presets very soon as to how different traders set up their dashboards in Deepvue. But this is how you do it.
Good question from Gardell. Say you're flipping through a ton of stock charts. What would be the best way to keep track of everything? Are you writing out notes somewhere to keep track of interesting charts and what setups are forming?
So you can definitely use watch lists for that. So if I create a watch list and I call it, what Richard tends to do is he gives a date. So I can have like a 428 watch list. And then as I go through, I can add any names to my 428. So let's say I like this stock, and this stock. I click the logo. I can say add it to my 428. And that is a way for you to, manage it. Through this quick access menu. Every time you click the logo, you have access to all your watch lists that you can add things to, add or subtract, right? And the neat thing is it also tells you if I select this particular stock OPK and I say I want to add it to my 428, it will tell you if it exists in your favorites, if it exists in your 428. So that's a subtle feature, but that's super useful. That way you know if a stock already exists on your watch list or it doesn't. So it doesn't exist on my 428, so I can add it to that as well. So that's one way. The second way we'll introduce the note-taking capabilities, the journaling capabilities going forward, a whole routines module where you can set up your daily routine, press a play button, and it will walk you through, hey, step one, run this screen, step two, run that. All of that stuff is coming, right? The more you guys support us, etc., the faster we build and the faster we get these features out as well. So there's a lot of ideas that we have in the pipe that will assist traders with their processes, their routines, their journaling, their note-taking capabilities, all within this platform. Please prioritize IBKR as its superior to all others. Definitely, that's one of part of our plan to have that integration along with Thinkorswim. Can you move the data panel to the right? We will add the data panel to the dashboard apps very soon. It's being worked on. It's about 3 days away from it to go into testing. Once it goes into testing, we will, do some QA and then release it. That way you can place your data panel anywhere you want in the dashboard as well. Is there a way to screen for oversold or overbought stocks or that's a really good question. I will make a note of that. That's something that we can implement pretty much right away with, oversold or overbought based on this indicator. I know Dr. Wish is one that teaches this a lot, so we'll make an effort to get those in. What's your upper panel study? So if you go to screener or anything, so this is the relative strength line that I have right here. So any indicators, when you click this in the top menu, you click indicators, I can search relative strength. I'm using this relative strength line. It's basically a relative strength line with a moving average of 21. And it shows me that when a stock on a 21-day basis is showing strength versus the market, it will be above the 21-day. If it's lagging the market on a 21-day basis, it will be below. And you can see that this particular stock that we're on is not outperforming the markets. Also, another thing, you could compare it to the S&P or the Qs, whichever you think is best in terms of how you trade. So it's complete flexibility as to how you want your relative strength line to be.
Rick's asking how you have your data panel vertical on the right. You want to just show him the button up top?
Yeah, so my data panel on the right, at the very top here, you'll have toggle. So if I click X, I'll get rid of it. So you have the stats table. So when I click it, you'll see that a stats table pops up underneath the chart. Next to the stats table, we have the data panel. And if I click that, it will come into view and out of view, depending on, your personal preference. Some people don't like to use the stats table. They like to use the data panel. Some people like to use both, or some people like to use none. So it's completely up to you, and the platform will remember whichever setting that you put it on. Will the dashboard grid get more defined, smaller grids? Yes, they will. They will. Right now, it's a 24 by 24 grid. We're going to update it to a 36 by 36. We'll see what response we get to that. Obviously, you want, very pixelated ones where it's completely free as to what you want to do. We've also discussed the possibility of overlapping, but I'm not a big fan of that because we'll get more, hey, I lost my list, I can't find it anywhere type of requests. So we likely will not do that. What we will do is increase this grid size so that instead of setting it at the edge of this box, it will be, more granular and smaller if you like it. When are you guys going to do a physical in-person conference? We have plans of doing that, likely not this year, but next year on the trade line side. At present, there is a VCP preset available. Are there plans to implement a cup with handle list? Yes. Some of the things that we've planned that are coming up with respect to pattern recognition or scanning for different patterns. One is what we're going to call RMV pivots. So we introduce relative measure volatility. It's an exclusive indicator or a data point. In Deepvue, we will now introduce RMV pivots. They will be very similar. It will recognize the pivots on the charts for you, so you can create a near pivot scan. We'll also introduce base pivot scanning in the short term. Cup with handle, it's a little bit overrated as to how the market works today, but we want to introduce the base pivots, the consolidation pivots, and the RMV pivots. So we'll do those first, and we'll showcase the value of those because we think it's a little more valuable than scanning for the traditional cup and cup with handles, etc. That would be great. Thanks so much. Will there be a webinar on screening soon? Yes. There will be a webinar. We'll do likely one on Wednesday, one on Saturday, Nick, going forward. Is that what we're doing? So whatever you guys want to see next, put that in the chat. We'll make a note of that. We'll maybe send out a poll as to what you want to see next, how I screen in Deepvue, how I'm using the screener, etc. We're open to any ideas because we're going to be doing this twice a week. Are there any possibilities of alerts when a stock appears in an intraday deep list for the first time, like a scanner alert? Nick, this is a really good ask. So Gardell is asking if I have a deep list, right? That's a screener, basically, and a new result pops up in this list. How do I know if that, if this stock has always been on there or if it's a new one that's kind of shown up recently? So maybe that goes with what we're trying to do with the alerts blue dot. That's something to think about as, these refresh and we get new results. Maybe we could put dots next to them. That would be really good. That way you can look at new results that are coming through at an interval basis. Really great idea. Is there a plan to add pre-post quoting to the charts? Yes, there is a plan to add lines for pre and post market. I believe that's already in progress. And that's something we'll be doing in the short term. Any other pattern recognition? So like I said, base pivots, consolidation pivots, RMV, relative measure volatility pivots. Those are all coming, and then we'll create a near pivot scan, a breaking out today scan, etc. So we'll do pattern recognition through screening first, just not drawing a couple and handle on a chart. We'll do that a little bit later on. Awesome. Miami would be nice for a conference. Just joined. Is this being recorded? Yes, it is being recorded. The recording will be sent. If you're not a subscriber, if you are a subscriber, everybody will get the recording. I'd like to learn and see how you're just going to maybe include it in the next webinar. Yes, we will. The point of these webinars is, it's benefit driven. How I use the platform today will give you guys ideas on how to use it for your own trading. So that's what I try to do. I cover my own use case, and that will inspire you to, use the platform in a similar way, or it will give you ideas on how you could best use it for yourself. I have an intraday momentum deep list when it is above prior high. Yeah, so that's a follow-up to the question where how can we see new stocks that come up? Pivot presets are awesome instead of cup with handle things. Awesome. We'll do that. How do I screen for stocks that are up over X period by X%? So so I'll answer that question right away. So you go to new screens is what I clicked, new screens up top. You'll get a bunch of filters on the right side. You go to price percent change, type in price percent change, and you could, we have price percent change over days, quarters, etc. So you can use these for, 1 quarter, 1 year, quarter to date, year to date, etc. Percent. We also added recently price percent change from high, so intraday, price percent change from the low of the day. These are really great for intraday screening for momentum to the downside or the upside, and then price percent change from the open to see which sectors, ETFs, stocks are showcasing good performance from the open as well. So there's many, many, many different ways you can do this. Are there plans to add market summary chart? Earnings, price to sale, price to book, blah, blah. Yes. So any fundamental data will be added in late May, early June. It will be there. Any fundamental data point you could possibly think of. That's available in other platforms, including market search. So what does the universe list include? Does it include the lists that were created? So anything that is converted from a screener to a watch list is not included in the universe list at the moment. The universe list combines all your watch lists together, not your screener and your watch list together. We will introduce combo lists very soon, and combo lists would be a way of combining a screener with a watch list and doing, any particular order that you want. And we'll give you guys a unique list of symbols that way. Add DV RS line, but didn't get what you get. So if you added the Deepvue RS line, so actually, let's just set it up live. Right? It's a question we get a lot. So if I get rid of it and I go to relative strength, I go DV relative strength, I just added it to my charts, and this is what it looks like. It doesn't look too good right now. Right. So what I do is I hover over any indicator. So any indicator that you want to see the options on, you hover over it. I'm going to click these 3 dots next to it. These 3 dots will give me additional options. You want to look for move to. This is what I do. I click move to, and then I say new pane above. New pane means give me a new panel that's dedicated to this particular indicator. When I do that, I can resize this panel, right, completely. So I want to make it super small, or I want to make it super big. It's entirely up to you. And then now you have it the same way that I have it as well. Awesome. All these capabilities really point to the need for multiple monitor and multiple tabs. What's the status on that? The status on that is we will begin multiple monitor and multiple tab support. So right now you're going to open up to 3 different or 4 different tabs of Deepvue, have them open, and we won't bug you at all. You can have 3 different dashboards open. What folks want is the ability to pop out a chart, pop out a data panel, put it on a separate screen, and then still have it communicate, let's say, with this particular screener. We are working on that. It's a little bit complicated, but some of the steps that we're taking over the next few releases, including the next release that will likely be late next week, about Thursday, is taking a huge step forward in allowing us to do that. So it's top of mind. A lot of folks have requested it. It's something we're working on. We'll definitely not ignore. Is there a way to display percent from 21%, from 50 and 200? Yes, there is. So if you want to display any data point, you just click this pencil on your data panel. You click plus, and then you could say price versus. And then what you wanted was 21, 50, and 200. So we have a 21 right here. We have a 50 and we have a 200. And now these are added to my data panel. Click X on that. Now I have these data points right here. This particular stock doesn't have 200 days of data. So we put a dash there, and then price versus 21 day minus 9 minus 32. And this update will update real time as you flip through different stocks, or when the market's open and the price is moving up and down, these numbers will also update in real time. With the data panel, we'll have a separate webinar on that. But what you can do is, if I don't want this in here, I want it in some other panel, you can select that particular panel and add these data points to them as well. So all that is doable. It's completely flexible. So if I want this container up here or there, I could do that. I don't want these data points in here. You can do that. So it's completely personalized to your trading. It's not a table that we force on you, and you must use that particular view. What if I want to look for stocks that are up X% and the name, what if I want to look for stocks that are up X percentage and name my own period? This is going to be doable with a formula builder, which we will launch this summer. And what it will do is you will be able to go in Deepvue. We're going to say price percent change. Give us any period that you want, and we'll give you an answer for that. So if you want 23, right, over the last 23 days or 24 days or 63 days or 64 days, all of that will be doable with when we release our formula builder, which will about a month and a half away. We're very, very close to that. Panel resizing, where is it saved to? I don't think you could resize the panel right now in terms of horizontal. We don't have that. When we do add it to the dashboard, it will be resizable. When does Traderline IPO? I don't know what that means, but in terms of public listing, good idea. We'll do that. I can't fix the DV RS line. That's the DV until you add preset charts. Some of us over 60 even. I can't. Yes, we're going to add preset charts. Yeah, we've thought of that. We're going to add data panel presets, dashboard presets, chart presets, column set, like column set presets are coming as well. So when we click this, and we'll have column set presets for you. So presets everywhere, and presets that top traders are using, just like we did, we did screener presets with Minervini, Stan, Qualamaggi, Oliver Kell, Mike Webster, Stockby, Patrick Walker, etc. We're going to have this, what are these top traders using in their as their columns? What are these top traders using as their data panel? What are these top traders using as their deep list, dashboard, etc.? So presets are going to be everywhere. It's just a matter of time. It's something that we definitely want to accomplish. A way to display percent from GLB. It's the same data point as, I would say, percent from all-time highs. We're implementing that. That's been filed. That will be out shortly. Percent from GLB, now that I think of it, might be a little bit different. It's a good idea. I'll note it down. Should be doable as well. Relative rotation graphs, yes, they will come out. First, 4 visualizations for the dashboard that we're going to release in May that are in testing right now are performance charts. They're going to come out, heat maps, scatter plots, and pie charts. Those 4 are going to come out first, and then after that, we'll work on relative rotation graphs, seasonality by day, by week, by year, etc. So it's all coming out again. That's why I say, the more you guys are supportive, the more you guys are vocal as to what we're doing, the more people we get into Deepvue, and we're putting everything that we have right back in terms of, the subscription model that we have. We're putting it back into development so we can develop even faster. Right now, there's no IPO presets available by year. Any idea that when we might add those? We should add some IPO screening tools. I'll make a note of that. It's already doable, and we can add them as well. So I added price versus when I clicked on another stock, it didn't change that. So if you're exhibiting any kind of bug that you feel is a bug, all you do is you go to the left hand, you click help, and you report a bug or you contact us. We'll work with you. Most of the time, it's working the way it's supposed to be working. It's just we usually teach the user as to how. We also, if you find a bug, we're more than we take a look at it, we get it through the pipeline, we get that fixed. Okay. When can we buy? Q4. Buying stocks within Deepvue and Traderline or within our platforms will be Q4 early next year.
No, they're asking when can they buy stock in Deepvue.
Oh, and that will not be this year. I have deep list that I import stocks from, right? From IBD premium list, and would like to be able to combine these similar to Deepvue universe. Yes. It will be feasible with combo lists. We're going to introduce combo lists. You can combine any list and any screen possible, and combo lists will be next month. They will come out in May. We have that planned out already. So with data points and plans to allow user to specify. Yeah, so formula builder again. You could specify any date in the screener. You could say, show, I want to run a screen in March 18 of 2003. What would the results be? That's going to be doable once we roll out our formula builder. We're moving everything to a time series, so everything will be time-based, and you will be able to define periods. You can even define when you want to be screening. So you'll just have a date button, and you can do historical screening as well. Then we will get into, back testing and all of those things, right? So you kind of see where we're going overall. Yes, TradeStation as well. That's a big one. IBKR, Thinkorswim, Schwab, TradeStation. Those four in terms of integrations. Awesome. That is all I have for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Again, at the bottom left of the help, what we're trying to go for in the month of May is to get our response times down to less than 3 hours after a submission of a question, etc. The best place to be is to click this knowledge base. If you have any question on the platform, we've invested a lot of time. If you're a subscriber, if you're not a subscriber, if you're curious about anything that Deepvue has, you could go to this knowledge base, type in anything like, how do I manage my watches? What are target lists? How do I set alerts? How many alerts can I set? What is mini charts? How do I get there? How do I use mini charts, and what are the features available? We've documented every single thing that we've integrated into the platform. All the features that are available have extensive documentation, including the custom indicators that we have, every single data point that's available in the platform. All of that is available here for you to take a look at. If you're a subscriber or if you're not signed up yet and you're curious about what it has, it's all available. So how do you get there? You go to the app.deepvue.com. You go to the bottom left on this menu. It's called knowledge base, and you click that knowledge base. And then if you're not a subscriber, obviously you can't be in the platform. But you can go to help.deepvue.com/knowledge base, and you get access to it that way as well. So it's public. It's not, behind a paid wall or anything like that. Awesome. So we'll end it there. I wish you guys a good weekend. We'll see you in the next one, which will be on Wednesday. The only other thing I do want to highlight is if you go to deepvue.com/events, deepvue.com/events, maybe we should add it here, Nick, in terms of events. You can sign up for the next one. You could subscribe to the calendar. So every time we add a new event, you'll automatically see it in your Outlook or Gmail or whatever you subscribe to. So as we add new events, that way you'll never miss the next webinar. And then the recordings are always sent out. Everything's recorded. If you can't make it, you can watch it on your own time as well. So with that, I wish you guys a good weekend, and I will see you in the next one.
Have a good one. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye.